Hey guys, what's up? It's Chris. So I wanted to share with you guys how I set up my bullet journal for the month of April, and we are jumping straight into my monthly log. For the longest time, I was absolutely convinced that the only monthly layout that worked for me was the standard calendar one. But that one was getting kind of stale, and by that I mean it was a pain to draw every month. So I finally tried out this layout and I loved it for the month of March, so I decided to stick with it. I've split my monthly log into events and social media, and so far it's been working alright, but I might switch it up in the future. So I guess I went with a very cliche floral theme, and I'm gonna pretend that this was totally intentional, because spring is coming up. But to be honest, I was feeling kind of uninspired, and whenever that happens, I just choose a very simple theme. And to whomever says they can't draw, these are just random squiggly lines, so you cannot mess this up. Next, I'm setting up my monthly tracker, and most people like to do it horizontally, where you have to turn your notebook sideways, but I didn't really like that, so I decided to make it vertical and just add little icons at the top. I like to keep these very simple, and I only like to track the things that I feel truly help me in one way or another. And sometimes I even use it as kind of like a schedule where I draw little borders so I know which days I'm supposed to do what. And that way I also save space in my monthly log because I don't have to write it in there as well. Next to my tracker, I'm just doing a little section for my social media stats, and this is obviously not something that everybody wants or needs to use, but I've been doing this for some time now, and it's just nice to see the progress. And as you can see, this month I'm also adding a little YouTube icon, which I'm so excited about. In case you're wondering, the colors that I'm using are the Zebra Mild Liner in blue and two of the Crayola Super Tip markers that I got in the 50 pack. And by the way guys, if you're looking for insanely cheap markers for your bullet journals, you cannot be disappointed in these. Moving on to more kind of personal spread, I am setting up this one line a day page. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but the idea is to write 1 or 2 sentences for each day. It's kind of like journaling without feeling the commitment or pressure of writing a lot. And this has helped me so much because sometimes I feel like days just blend together and I can't even remember what I did 2 days ago. So this is such a nice way to keep some memories and also to disguise the fact that I have the memory of a goldfish pretty much. So if you've never tried this, I really urge you to. Right next to it, I'm setting up a mood tracker, and I'm putting it here because it's nice to see the correlation between how my day went from the one line a day journaling and my mood. And finally, for the spread, I'm adding a highlight section. This is usually where I end up doodling the most important things that happened each month. And it's so nice to flip back and have this visual overview of the month, especially because time flies and sometimes it may seem like you haven't accomplished anything that month, but if you try this out, I promise it'll prove you wrong. Next is kind of like a brain dump page, and I used to have a separate section for my brain dumps at the beginning of the journal, but I've already told you guys how bad my memory is, and obviously I would always forget to flip back to it. So this time I decided to include it into my monthly setup, and if there will be tasks that I haven't completed, then I'll just migrate them into my next monthly setup. And at the bottom of the page, I added this quote, which I thought was so funny, and it was very fitting for this page. After that, I'm setting up my time log, and the idea for this is very simple, but I think it's very effective. So every square is half an hour or 1 hour, and you color in how much time you spent in certain areas of your life. I've tried this idea once before, but it didn't really stick, and I think mostly because I was scared to see the outcome at the end of the month, but I guess that's the whole point. And the last page before I jump into my weeklies is my expense tracker. I have been doing this pretty consistently for a long time, and even though sometimes I forget to fill it in, I found it to be really helpful. And I know a lot of you can relate with me on this, but I'm always wondering where the heck my money went, and then I have some flashbacks and it all comes back to me. So we're finally coming to the last page of this setup, which is my weekly spread. I pretty much try a new layout every single week because I don't feel like I found the perfect one yet. So I'm keeping it kind of simple, and I usually find that one page is enough space for most of my weeks. And if I do end up having a busy day, then I'll just do a daily and I'm all set. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of this monthly setup, and here's the final flip through. And in case you're curious, this took me about 1 hour to set up, but filming it kind of slowed me down a bit. And in closing, I just want to remind you guys that it's okay if not everything turns out perfect, and it's okay to make mistakes. I do them all the time, but that's why I use a Despawn journal. I really hope you guys enjoyed and found some inspiration. So if you guys like this video, you know what to do, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.